gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
On 11 Alive, Elijah DeWitt was a star prep football player before being gunned down in the parking lot of a Lawrenceville shopping center last week. And tonight, friends and family took time to honor DeWitt's memory as the small Jackson County community of Jefferson now readies for his funeral. 11 Alive's Don White reports for us.
Jefferson High School here is where Elijah DeWitt made his mark, and his impact on the entire community is evident by the number of people who showed up for his vigil. They spoke, they clutched candles close.
We feel a very, very big lonely void.
They cried and they remembered at this vigil.
We loved our son beyond measures.
And this is very sad situation here. You have a young glider man who was taken out by a couple super gremlins on demon time, and it's inexcusable. In Gwinnett County, making the malls hot, making every situation hot, really. And there's no overwhelming outrage from the community.
And our hearts are broken.
Dawn DeWitt, Elijah's mother, says it still doesn't feel real. Her son is gone.
Having this moment of, wait a minute, I need to check on what time he's coming home, and realizing I will not make that text again.
As Dawn comes to terms with her unimaginable grief, she reflects on her son's character.
I just want people to remember him as Elijah DeWitt, who was a motivated, talented, sweet, kind soul.
And that is absolutely heartbreaking. Like I said, I went to Clark Central High School, so we were very familiar with Jefferson High School. Competitors over there, hard workers. They got a good football program, or decent football program. But this kid had all the potential in the world, and it was just cut short.
He stood 6 feet 2 inches tall, and his heart was as big as his stature.
He is a gentle giant.
He cared more than anyone I've ever met. And that's why I love him so much, because he reminds me of my daddy.
Bailey Riedling and Elijah had been boyfriend and girlfriend for almost 5 years.
He was very intelligent. A lot of people didn't know this, but he was very soft as a person and very sweet inside, and he loved everyone.
The love Elijah had for people is reflected in this outpouring of support from the close-knit Jefferson community.
We are together.
Man, and there's no way these gliders aren't having conversations about the perpetrators of this horrible crime.
Doing this in honor of him and a celebration to him, because I feel like I can hold him close to my heart and he would be proud as I was of him.
Elijah continues to give even in death. His mom says he donated organs, helping multiple people. In Jefferson, I'm Dawn White, 11 Alive News.
We have more details on the murder of Elijah DeWitt, as well as this week's visitation and funeral schedule online tonight at 11alive.com.
Afternoon to say goodbye. Family and friends gathering in Jackson County today to give their final farewells to Elijah DeWitt. The teenager was killed last week in the parking lot of the Lawrenceville Dave and Buster's. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn joins us now. So, Cody, you spoke with someone who knew him well at his visitation today, right?
I did, Ron. Visitation for Elijah DeWitt wrapped up just in the last hour, a few blocks away from here at the high school. And while this community is really wrapping their arms around the DeWitt family, inside the hallways here at Jefferson High School, teachers are wrapping their arms around these students, trying to help them navigate through this heartbreaking tragedy.
This has shown me the real true meaning of community.
Tanisha Gill.
Yeah, see, Tanisha ain't never seen no community gather around and work super hard to find the suspects responsible for this heinous murder. Okay. She ain't never seen that because she's used to seeing the results of the community. And what is that? No snitching, don't tell on people, all this stuff. But she's seeing the polar opposite in the glider community where they gather around, find the suspect quickly, if not faster, and bring them to justice.
Is in her third year teaching at Jefferson High School.
On Monday, we were just coming back from fall break.
3 days into Jefferson High's fall break, tragedy rocked this small community. Elijah DeWitt, a senior and star wide receiver for the Dragons, was gunned down outside the Dave & Buster's in Lawrenceville.
It was heartbreaking.
Gales, along with hundreds of others, showed up at the Jefferson Church for Elijah's visitation. As the community wraps their arms around his family,
Teachers are rallying around the students to make sure everybody's, doing well. And if they are not, then they're, just showing them love generally to help them get through this. The mother and me definitely came out.
Gales' son, who was one of Elijah's football coaches, says the true test for many will come Friday night when the Dragons travel to Flowery Branch in Hall County.
It was hard to see young men shedding tears over their friend. Now, when you work so close together and you've grown up playing sports and doing things together, it becomes a brotherhood. I really think that it's going to impact them Friday when they start back on that field and he's no longer there.
And it's going to be a very hard day tomorrow. The funeral set for tomorrow evening right behind me at the arena here at Jefferson High School, where they will say their final goodbyes to 18-year-old Elijah DeWitt. There is a scholarship fund they are trying to raise through a GoFundMe account. Last check tonight, it was up to $46,000. You can find that right now at 11alive.com.
And I did want to say something about that last clip. They said that they started a scholarships fund and it's almost to $50,000. Just my personal opinion, that scholarship should not go to any individuals in the community, just out of respect. Just out of respect, because we know that a lot of times they use these scholarships and, give them to quote unquote disenfranchised, marginalized kids. No, that scholarship needs to go to, the best performing student athlete or something like that. It should not go to an individual who, he wouldn't have been able to go to college unless he had this help and all this. Like, no, give it to somebody who worked hard for it, who is deserving, who had the potential to get academic scholarships as well, maybe athletic scholarships. And give it to the best individual. Don't just give it to, this individual is marginalized, so let's give it to him. That would be a slap in the face to, I think, the families or the victim's family and, the young man, Elijah DeWitt, who was slain by none other than a couple super gremlins on Demon Time.
Only on 11 Alive, Elijah DeWitt's mother says her son was a gentle giant taken too soon. The teenager gunned down Wednesday night outside the Dave & Buster's in Lawrenceville. Tonight, sources confirm a suspect, also a teenager, was arrested in Anderson County, South Carolina, about 123 miles away from Atlanta.
Wow.
11 Alive's Cody Alcorn is live for us this evening in Jefferson.
He thought he was going to catch a body, then slide back to South Carolina. I mean, this is ridiculous. You got super gremlins crossing state lines to get on Demon Time.
And outside the high school where Elijah DeWitt was a star receiver.
Now, Cody, you spoke exclusively with a mom just a short time ago, right?
That's right, Ron. A strong woman, but her heart is broken tonight. Dawn DeWitt told me while Elijah was a giant on the football field here at Jefferson High School behind me, he was a down-to-earth guy. He wanted to go to college, earn a degree, and play football, but those dreams were cut short by one senseless act. At 6'2", 190 pounds, 18-year-old Elijah DeWitt was hard to miss on the football field.
I call Elijah a gentle giant.
A star wide receiver at Jefferson High School. He wanted to play college football.
He really just encompassed that dream, and nothing seemed to ever stand in his way.
It seemed like nothing could stand in Elijah's way. His mom,
Yes.
Dawn DeWitt, said he already had a couple offers and was set to visit UGA this weekend.
Damn. You know, he was about to come play for us. He had offers, hella potential at wide receiver. Y'all know them white wide receivers. They never forget the routes. Oh, what a tragedy.
He loved football, and he was ready and willing to do whatever it takes to go D1. That was his ultimate goal.
A goal Elijah will never get the chance to accomplish. On Wednesday night, the teenager's life was cut short. His mom says he was shot just feet from the door at this Dave & Buster's at Sugarloaf Mills Mall in Lawrenceville.
He was very tender, and he loved people. Elijah was the kindest soul.
Which is why Dawn says it's so hard to wrap her head around why anyone would want to kill him.
He was so full of life and love,
and there doesn't have to be a reason. We all know that these super gremlins kill for fun, but you know, condolences to the family. It looks like they just caught him slipping. I don't know if it was a robbery gone bad or whatever, or they just sought out to kill a glider, because we know that happens as well. If you don't believe me, go back to the story that I did on Memphis, where they were saying that they were going to just go after glider grandmothers and their grandchildren. So it's getting wicked out here. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Was courageous.
A woman so proud to call Elijah her son, even if it was for just 18 short years.
It really was just a privilege to be a part of the journey, and I really wished I could have it back.
I assure you, his dad is just as proud of his son as his mom is. He didn't come outside tonight because of this story could not get any worse. Elijah was killed on his dad's birthday.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
He was killed on his dad's birthday. I mean, there is a demonic era or aura following these super gremlins in the community. They said the super gremlins that killed him were teens. So you know what that means. Sisters, come get your kids.
Station correspondent Xavier Walton is live for this morning with some details on a news story. Good morning, Xavier.
Hey, Mitch, good morning. Yeah, 18-year-old Elijah Dewitt had his whole life ahead of him. He's a senior in high school. He's on the football team. He's a loving brother, son, family, friend. But that was all cut short last week when he was shot and killed while on a date at a local Dave & Buster's. Now, I want to show you the suspects that have been arrested. We're talking about 19-year-old Chandler Zion Richardson.
19-year-old. And you see he got the blonde, Chris Brown dyed hair. Looking like a damn fool. I'm telling you, dark-skinned dudes, bruh, stop dyeing your hair this stupid blonde color. You look ridiculous.
And an 18-year-old Kenmar Bryan. They were arrested in South Carolina.
19 and 18.
Just a sad story here. About 100 miles from where authorities say they shot and killed 18-year-old Elijah Dewitt. Dewitt was a standout high school football player in Jefferson, Georgia. This is just north of Athens. Here he is now. Some of the people still obviously trying to figure out how all this happened. The suspects in this case, they have been extradited back to Georgia as they face several charges, as many are still trying to come to grips with what happened, as Elijah Dewitt is laid to rest later today.
Xavier, thank you for that.
11 Live News at noon starts now. New at noon, a judge denied bond for two teenagers accused of killing a high school football star. Chandler Richardson and Kamari
Thank God their bond was denied.
Bryan were in court for the first time just hours ago. They are both charged with the murder in the shooting death of 18-year-old Jefferson High School athlete Elijah DeWitt.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anyway.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video. So we've got a lot to talk about. Kanye West is being sued by the family of George Floyd. He's being sued by the family of George Floyd. And that is because in a Drink Champs interview, he said that George Floyd basically did not die from the knee on his neck that came via George or Derek Chauvin, or Chauvin, however you want to call it. But so what happened was there was aftermath. Kanye was chastised by the community. He was chastised by his rap peers. He was even chastised by the host of the Drink Champs show, Nori or Noriega, from the duo Capone and Noriega, a rap group that was, you know, pretty famous in the 90s. But my issue is Kanye was right. He was right. According to the ME and the autopsy, George Floyd passed away from an overdose. Fentanyl. Okay? I know people don't want to hear that. I know people don't want to hear that. But for one, you have to understand George Floyd's situation. You know, a guy who was convicted of multiple felonies, stayed in trouble. You know, this type of thing is inevitable when you're leading a life like that. But all in all, it's pretty crazy that the autopsy literally says that George Floyd was indeed killed by an overdose. So that's pretty much his own doing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to read this article, and then we're going to look at the autopsy. Okay. So let's see. So basically, I did have the autopsy on Reddit, which they've removed. So let's see if we can find the actual autopsy. Okay. So we've got an article online from Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Weekly. Let me just pull this up really quick, guys. So the autopsy was done by the Hennepin County Medical Examiner in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, and the address of that ME is 530 Chicago Avenue, Minneapolis. So let's take a look, man. Let's take a look. All right, let's see. Give me 1 second, because I just gotta find, okay, the PDF. Oh, they want you to pay for this shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyways, let's break down this article first, and then I'll find it later. The mother of George Floyd's daughter. So this is the mother of George Floyd's daughter, the woman who wasn't with him, right? when he passed, they were not together, but now she's filing $250 million lawsuit against Kanye West over his recent statements about George Floyd's death, which this lawsuit may have some validity because we saw what they did to Alex Jones. So just be aware that if you're a public figure, whatever you say can and will be used against you. In the court of law, apparently, the rapper who goes by Ye erroneously declared on a podcast that Floyd died from fentanyl, not as a result of police brutality. So this is my thing. Could he have went into cardiac arrest because it was a high stress situation combined with the amount of drugs in his body? Of course. Of course. Okay. Let's see. So there were multiple things that were going on. So you could factor everything in and come to whatever conclusion you want. I don't think it was just one thing that ended up killing him, but it was a combination of the two. If he was not high on fentanyl, would he have died? Probably not. If the knee was not on his neck with the man's body weight, would he have died? Probably not. Okay. So we can come to our own conclusions, but I'm just going to read the medical examiner's take, the autopsy after this. Kanye's comments are a repugnant attempt to discount George Floyd's life and to profit from his inhumane death. Attorney Pat D. Dixon III said in a statement on Tuesday, adding that the goal with the lawsuit is to hold Mr. West accountable for his flagrant remarks. So let's see who this attorney is. Let's see who this attorney is. So as you can see, I think this is him, if I'm not mistaken. Let me not fuck this up. Okay, so this is Pat D. Dixon Jr., and they're saying Pat D. Dixon III. So I don't know which one it is, but I guess this is him. Lawyer out of Atlanta. And if it's not him, then it's his son. So here the brother goes, obviously. Okay, this is the brother right here. And then we're going to read the autopsy. So let's get back into it. All right. The lawsuit will go after West's business partners and associates as the comments cause harassment, misappropriation, defamation, and infliction of emotional distress. Gianna is the sole beneficiary of George Floyd's estate. The interests of the child are priority. George Floyd's daughter is being re-traumatized by Kanye West comments, and he's creating an unsafe and unhealthy environment for her. I don't know how it would be unsafe and unhealthy to say the man didn't die of how most people are saying he died, but Roxy Washington, acting on behalf of her and Floyd's child, Gianna, retained the Witherspoon Law Group and Dixon attorneys at law. They fired off a cease and desist to West. Mr. Floyd's cause of death is well settled through evidence presented in courts of law during the criminal and civil trials that were the result of his untimely and horrific death. Nevertheless, you have maliciously made statements that are inaccurate and unfounded, causing damage to Mr. Floyd's estate and his family. The letter reads, which was obtained by Yahoo Entertainment. West brought up Floyd in the Drink Champs podcast while touting conservative pundit Candace Owens' documentary, The Greatest Lie Ever Told, George Floyd and the Rise of BLM. I watched the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put out. One of the things that his two roommates said was they want a tall guy like me, and the day that he died, he said a prayer for 8 minutes. West said they hit Floyd with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. So that's what he's saying. They hit Floyd with the fentanyl. See, that's where he's fucking up. Floyd took the fentanyl himself. Nobody hit him with the fentanyl but himself. Another thing that I would like to add is that if they are so upset with Kanye, why don't they sue Candace Owens? Oh, because Candace Owens probably took her time. I haven't seen the documentary, but she most likely took her time and made sure that she got all the facts straight before she put this documentary out. So my thing is, why not go for Candace Owens? Oh, because Kanye is an easier target. He's a bigger target. And I understand that when it comes to filing a lawsuit. Floyd's cause of death was ruled as a homicide by a medical examiner. Okay. There were multiple autopsies done. The autopsy report said he died from cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement, subdual, restraint, and neck compression. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin kneeled on Floyd's neck for almost 9 minutes, as seen in the video that sparked 2020's social justice movement. The autopsy report noted other significant conditions, including hypertensive heart disease, fentanyl intoxication, and recent methamphetamine use. Floyd's brother is mulling a lawsuit against West as well. Civil rights attorney Lee Merritt, who represented Floyd's family, said they are considering suing West for intentional infliction of emotional distress, as a defamation lawsuit is not possible. So they're suing him for emotional distress. And now the brother, George Floyd's brother, is getting his attorneys together to file a lawsuit as well. So let's go ahead and read the autopsy. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. Yeah, so every time, let's see. Okay. So they're on this Reddit thread debating it. And like I said, you can interpret this multiple ways, and they pretty much scrubbed it. I don't want to get like the Google version of it, but they pretty much like scrubbed it off of the Reddit forums at least. So let me just this. So they got the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office autopsy report, which we will, okay, finally, I got it. So it's a 20-page report. Let's see. Can we get through all of this? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we can. All right, so I'm going to share this screen with you. I'm going to share my screen with you. And you guys can come to the conclusion for yourself. But my point is, do they have grounds for a lawsuit? Guys, make sure if you want to interact with me on this stream that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And hit that super trap, hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal. We are going to be breaking down this situation. We're going to be breaking down the autopsy, the final autopsy from the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office, to put this thing to bed once and for all. So let's get ready, because we are about to be outside.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello?
Where you at?
Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
All right, guys. So we're outside with it. We are going to break this thing down. Shout out to Dilbert Gegg with the $10 super trap. He says, bump.
Oh, say less.
Yes, sir. So let's get into it. So case title: cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement, subdual, restraint, and neck compression. All right. So that is the case title. Deceased George Floyd, aka Floyd Perry. They have the date, as you can see, May 25th, 2020. And the date of the autopsy was that following morning, May 26, 2020. Obviously, male, age 46. And the pathologist was Andrew M. Baker, rather. So let's see what Mr. Baker is talking about. See if we can get some info on him. Let's see. There's a lot of Andrew Bakers here. Okay, here we go. So just a little background on Andrew Baker. Andrew Baker, MD, Chief Medical Examiner of Hennepin County, Minnesota. Dr. Andrew Baker is a graduate of the University of Iowa College of Medicine. He completed his residency in pathology at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics and completed a year of specialized training in forensic pathology in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He is board certified in anatomic and clinical pathology with subspecialty certification in forensic pathology. He is a fellow of the College of American Pathologists and serves on the CAP Forensic Pathology Committee. How ironic is that? CAP. He is a fellow of the National Association of Medical Examiners and the American Academy of Forensic Sciences, having served as the chair of the Academy's Pathology Biology section and currently serving on the board of directors and the executive committee. All right, so let's see. He began his practice in 2002, so he's been out here for 20 years. So very experienced, So let's keep going. Final diagnosis. 46-year-old man who became unresponsive while being restrained by law enforcement officers. He received emergency medical care in the field and subsequently in the Hennepin Healthcare emergency department, but could not be resuscitated. Blunt force injuries. So he had cutaneous blunt force injuries of the forehead, face, and upper lip. Mucosal injuries of the lips. Cutaneous blunt force injuries of the shoulders, hands, elbows, and legs. Patterned contusions in some areas abraded of the wrist, consistent with restraints or handcuffs. Natural diseases. He had arteriosclerotic heart disease. Hold on, let me see. I gotta make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Okay. So he had heart disease. He said arteriosclerotic. Okay, give me 1 second. We'll just. Arteriosclerotic. Okay, arteriosclerotic. Got it. All right. Arteriosclerotic heart disease, multifocal severe hypertensive heart disease, cardiomegaly with mild biventricular dilation, clinical history of hypertension, left pelvic tumor. So he had a tumor in his pelvic. Incidental. So it's an incidental. Basically, he's saying that wasn't a contributor to the cause of death, but the heart disease, hypertensive heart disease, the arteriosclerotic heart disease, obviously played a role in his death. No life-threatening injuries identified. Wow. So in the third stanza, they say no life-threatening injuries identified. Okay. No facial, oral, mucosal, or conjunctival petechiae. I don't know. No injuries of anterior muscles of neck or laryngeal structures. So that's big. No injuries of anterior muscles of neck or laryngeal structures. Okay, so I'm assuming that they're saying that there were no significant injuries on the neck, in the larynx area, which is known to be a sign of, I guess, asphyxiation. No scalp, soft tissue, skull, or brain injuries. Okay. No chest, wall, soft tissue injuries, rib fractures, other than a single rib fracture from CPR. So his rib fractured from CPR, but not from the knee on the neck or the knee on the upper shoulder. Vertebral column injuries or visceral injuries, incisions and subcutaneous dissection of posterior and lateral neck, shoulders, back, flanks, and buttocks. Negative for occult trauma. So it's interesting to say he didn't have any life-threatening injuries per se, and then also come to the conclusion that he passed away because of this police interaction as a whole, as a final conclusion. So let's see. Viral testing. Minnesota Department of Health postmortem nasal swab collected on May 26, 2020, positive for 2019 CV by PCR is what they're saying. Hemoglobin S quantitation was 38%. So I'm not completely sure what that means or what that implies, but toxicology. Okay. See attached report for details. Testing performed on antemortem blood specimens collected on May 25th, 2020 at 9 p.m. at HHC on postmortem urine. So his blood, drug, and novel psychoactive substances screens read fentanyl 11 ng or milligrams, I guess, right? Norfentanyl 5.6 ng or milliliters, right? Yeah, milliliters, I think. 4 ANP 0.65 milliliters, methamphetamine 19 milliliters, 11 hydroxy delta 9 THC 1.2, delta 9 carboxy THC 42, delta 9 THC 2.9. So he was on that gas. Cotinine positive, caffeine positive. So, I mean, mixing fentanyl and caffeine and methamphetamines all within, a short span of time can definitely get you killed. As a matter of fact, let's see. All right. So I mean, you can pretty much die from a very small amount of fentanyl. According to the DEA, fentanyl is a synthetic opiate typically used to treat patients with chronic severe pain or severe pain following surgery. Fentanyl is a Schedule II controlled substance that is similar to morphine, but about 100 times more potent. Under the supervision of a licensed medical professional, fentanyl has a legitimate medical use. Patients prescribed fentanyl should be monitored for potential misuse or abuse. Excuse me. Illicit fentanyl, primarily manufactured in foreign clandestine labs and smuggled into the United States through Mexico, is being distributed across the country and sold on the illegal drug market. Fentanyl is being mixed in with other illicit drugs to increase the potency of the drug, sold as powder and nasal sprays, and increasingly pressed into pills made to look like legitimate prescription opiates. Because there is no official oversight of quality control, these counterfeit pills often contain lethal doses of fentanyl with none of the promised drug. Okay. So that is some background information on that. Blood volatiles negative for ethanol, methanol, isopropanol, or acetone. Urine drug screen presumptive positive for cannabinoids, amphetamines, and fentanyl metabolite. Urine drug screen confirmation, morphine free. Okay. So let's read the toxicology report, the findings of the toxicology report. The findings of sickled appearing cells in many of the autopsy tissue sections prompted the hemoglobin S quantitation reported above. This quantitative result is indicative of sickle cell trait. So they're saying he might have had sickle cell as well. Red blood cells in individual, and that means like your red blood cells are crescent shaped. With sickle cell trait are known to, and this can cause like blood clots and all this kind of stuff, to sickle as a post-mortem artifact. The descendants antemortem peripheral blood smear made from a complete blood count collected on May 25th, 2020 at 9 p.m. was reviewed by an expert, HHC, hematopathologist at the medical examiner's request. This review found no evidence of antemortem sickling. Okay. The decedent was known to be positive for the CV. Since PCR positivity for CV can persist for weeks after the onset and resolution of clinical disease, the autopsy result most likely reflects asymptomatic but persistent PCR positivity from previous infection. Okay. So they're basically saying that they found the CV from previous infection. Positive identification is confirmed by comparison of antemortem and post-mortem fingerprints. External examination. When initially examined, the body is in a sealed, locked, and properly labeled body bag. Evidently, paper bags are secured over the hands. The body is that of a normally developed, muscular, and adequately nourished, appearing 6 foot 4 inch long, 223-pound male, whose appearance is consistent with the reported age of a 46-year. Unfixed lividity is present on the posterior dependent surfaces of the body, except in areas exposed to pressure. Rigor mortis is established in all of the major muscle groups. Relenting with modest pressure, the temperature is somewhat cool following refrigeration. The scalp is covered with closely cropped black hair in a normal distribution with some early vertex thinning. The irides are brown and the pupils are round and equal in diameter. The conjunctivae are somewhat injected, but there are no bulbar or palpebral conjunctival pedichae. I don't know. There are no facial, periorbital or oral mucosal pedichae. The internal auditory canals are free of blood. The lobe of the ear, or of the left ear, is remotely pierced once. The ears are otherwise unremarkable. The nares are patent. The nasal and facial bones are stable to palpation. A faint 2 centimeter maximum dimension V-shaped scar is near the superior end of the left jawline. The teeth appear native and in good repair. Very short black mustache and beard stubble is in the usual distribution on the face, and a small patch of slightly longer black beard hair is just inferior to the lower lip. The neck, and guys, feel free to super trap to make sure I'm getting all this right. And if you want me to explain something, I'll do my best to. I'm not a doctor, but doing my best to get through this. The neck is straight and the trachea is midline. Didn't mean to do that. A 0.6 centimeter diameter circular gray-brown scar is over the middle of the left clavicle. The chest is symmetric. The abdomen is flat. The external genitalia are those of normal adult male. The testes are descended and free of masses. Pubic hair is present in a normal distribution, or pubic hair, my bad. The back, buttocks, and anus are unremarkable. Okay. The upper and lower extremities are symmetric and free of clubbing. edema or absence of digits, 6 faint, hypopigmented, haphazardly oriented, linear scars ranging up to 1.2 centimeters long are scattered across the dorsum of the right forearm. Approximately 8 gray tan foci or of healing injury scars ranging up to 0.8 centimeters maximum dimension are scattered across the dorsum of the right hand. 2 similar appearing healing injuries scars, each 1 centimeter maximum dimensions, are on the anteromedial right wrist. A similar appearing obliquely oriented 2 centimeter long linear healing injury is on the medial right wrist. The skin of the first dorsal web space on the right hand has a 4.5 centimeter maximum dimension area of brown hyperpigmentation and gray tan hyperkeratosis, an 8 centimeter maximum dimension area of brown hyperpigmentation and gray tan hyperkeratosis spans the first dorsal web space on the left hand and has 5 superimposed healing linear skin cracks ranging up to 1.2 centimeters long. Similarly, gray tan scar-like areas are on the dorsum of the left hand, over the left, second, and third metacarpophalangeal joints and the web spaces between the fingers, okay? And wrists in areas ranging 0.2 to 2 centimeter maximum dimension. A 4 centimeter maximum dimension flat tan scar is on the dorsum of the left hand over the 5th metacarpal. The nails of the hands are cut or chewed extremely short. Okay. A 4 centimeter maximum dimension horizontally oriented linear brown scar is over the anterior right hip. A 0.5 centimeter maximum dimension muscular or macular brown nevus is over the anterior right hip. 2 flat hyperpigmented patches, 1.2 and 2 centimeter maximum dimension, flank the left side of the waistline. A 1.5 centimeter maximum dimension hypopigmented oval scar is over the right knee. Approximately 9 haphazardly oriented linear hypopigmented scars ranging up to 2 centimeter maximum dimension and scattered over the just inferior to the right knee. Approximately 9 hyper and hypopigmented linear and oval scars ranging up to 2 centimeters maximum dimension are over the right shin. A faint 1.5 centimeter maximum dimension hyper and hypopigmented scar is on the posterolateral left thigh. Okay. 5 hypopigmented linear scars ranging up to 5 centimeters maximum dimensions are over just superior to and just inferolateral to the left knee. A 3 centimeter maximum dimension area of slight skin darkening associated with hair follicle plugging is the distal left calf. The nails of the toes are somewhat elongated, markedly thickened, and discolored yellow-brown. So my nigga should have been drinking more water. The soles of the feet and the posterior heels are somewhat hyperkeratotic and desiccated, appearing particularly on the right. All right, so interesting there. Let me just I'm getting a text right quick. Guys, and hopefully Kanye sees this and maybe he can use this document in court. But let's look at the tattoos. A 42 centimeter maximum dimension monochromatic blue tattoo of an eagle holding a rifle spans the upper chest from shoulder to shoulder and from the inferior neck to the distal sternum. An 11 centimeter maximum dimension monochromatic blue tattoo of a pair of praying hands is on the epigastric abdomen. A 9 centimeter maximum dimension monochromatic blue tattoo of the name Laura is on the right upper abdomen. A 10 centimeter maximum dimension monochromatic blue tattoo of the name Sissy is on the left upper abdomen. A 28 centimeter maximum dimension monochromatic blue tattoo of the name Floyd spans both sides of the abdomen just superior to the umbilicus. A 10 centimeter maximum dimension monochromatic blue tattoo of what appears to be a gravestone with some letters and numbers and the letters RIP is on the anterior right forearm. A 12 centimeter maximum dimension monochromatic blue tattoo of 2 stars and what appears to be the name Brittany and the letters RIP is on the proximal anterior left arm. A 20 centimeter maximum dimension pattern monochromatic blue tattoo spans the anterior, lateral, and posterior aspects of the left forearm. Oh, man. Excuse me, guys. I got to take a swig. But this is extremely interesting. Clothing and personal effects. The following clothing items are received with the body in the body bag in a hospital patient belongings bag and examined separate from the body at the start of the post-mortem examination. A size XXL Nike brand blue tracks pants, extensively cut apart, presumably for medical intervention. A black ribbed sleeveless t-shirt, no tag, extensively cut apart. Size 3XL starting 5 brand black and gray sweatpants, extensively cut apart. A pair of black dress socks, one with a gray heel and gray toe box. Okay, so medical intervention. Oral endotracheal tube correctly positioned in the trachea and held in place on the face with a white and tan plastic and elastic band. Thoracostomy incision, 3.6 centimeters maximum dimension, somewhat ragged and V-shaped. Right lateral chest, approximately 6 superficial punctures and cuts ranging from pinpoint to 1.5 centimeters long are adjacent to the thoracostomy. Excuse me. Thoracostomy incision, 3.9 centimeters long, somewhat ragged and linear. Left lateral chest at a pinpoint cut or puncture is just inferior to the thoracostomy. Curvy linear orange abrasions centered over the sternum, 10 centimeter maximum dimension aggregate, consistent with cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Intravascular catheter with attached segment of tubing taped in place just proximal to the left antecubital fossa. The tape associated with this catheter has created a localized area of skin slippage in the left antecubital fossa. Needle puncture just distal to the left antecubital fossa. Okay, this one is tripping me up. Let's see how to pronounce this. Intraosseous. Okay, that's good. Intraosseous catheter with attached tubing, right tibia. Intraosseous. Yeah, that makes more sense. Intraosseous catheter with attached tubing, left tibia. Intravascular catheter with attached tubing taped in place on the right groin. Hospital tag, right gray toe. Hospital bracelets, right wrist. Needle puncture, left groin. Minimally hemorrhagic horizontal fracture in the sternum, consistent with cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Okay, so that came from them trying to revive him. Non-hemorrhagic fracture of the anterior left fourth rib, consistent with cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Evidence of injury. So here we are. A 4 centimeter maximum dimension abraded red, black, purple contusions, lateral corner of left brow, pinpoint red abrasion just left of the midline of the forehead. 6.5 centimeter maximum dimension red black abrasion left cheek. 0.6 centimeter maximum dimension red abrasion just inferior to left corner of mouth. 0.8 centimeter maximum dimension colvilinear red avulsion or avulsion. Avulsion, just superior to right side of upper lip. It takes me a couple times, but I got it. 8 pinpoint to 0.2 centimeter maximum dimensions, red abrasions right side of the nose. Faint blue contusions on the body of the nose, 3.5 centimeters. Right nearest, not 1.5 centimeters, and left nearest, 1.1 centimeters. 1.5 centimeter maximum dimensions aggregate of pink purple mucosal abrasions and lacerations upper lip. 2 centimeter maximum dimension aggregate of pink orange mucosal abrasion and lacerations lower lip. So if Kanye's attorneys are any good, they're going to take a look at this and pretty much be able to substantiate his claims, because if he wins this lawsuit, that pretty much will disprove the George Floyd's death thing, and I mean Chauvin might even be able to use that in trial. This lawsuit actually might be a good thing for Kanye if he can beat it, because I don't really think that they have grounds to sue him for $250 million. I just don't think so. It's a public situation, an open case that you can have a discussion on. I mean, this is ridiculous. Shoulders and extremities. 8 centimeter maximum dimension purple contusion with 4.5 centimeter maximum dimension aggregate of linear red abrasions. Anterolateral right shoulder. 2 centimeter maximum dimension red L-shaped scratch. Superior right shoulder. 14 centimeter maximum dimension pink purple contusion with a discontinuous 8 centimeter maximum dimension dried red black abrasion left shoulder. 0.2 centimeter maximum dimension red abrasion just medial to the right elbow. 3 centimeter maximum dimension faint pink contusion just medial to the left elbow. Pinpoint red abrasion just medial and distal to the left elbow. 1.5 centimeter maximum dimension purple contusion proximal right shin. 2.5 centimeter maximum dimension aggregate of red abrasions distal right shin. 0.3 centimeter maximum dimension red abrasion over the left calf. Wrist and hands. 1.4 centimeter maximum dimension red and dried black abrasion dorsum of proximal interphalangeal joint right index finger. 2.8 centimeter maximum dimensions red and focally dried black abrasions dorsum of proximal interphalangeal joint right middle finger. Circumferential discontinuous 3.5 centimeter maximum width, roughly parallel pink purple contusions encircling the right wrist. Damn, hold up. Got something stuck in my throat. Pause. Encircling the right wrist with areas of superimposed abrasions up to 1.2 centimeters maximum dimension. A 0.9 centimeter long superficial red scratch is on the lateral right wrist between the pattern contusion and the hand. I'm not sure if anybody has ever really read this on live stream, but guys, like the video, share the video. I'm actually going to put up a poll. And it's going to be simple. It's going to be very, very simple. My question to you guys is Kanye right? Is Kanye right? Is Kanye West right? Okay. So the question is Kanye West right about George Floyd? All right, here we go. First answer, yes, George Floyd overdosed. And no, Chauvin killed George Floyd. All right, so guys, vote on the poll. The poll is up. Let's see. Let's keep going. Circumferential discontinuous 2.5 centimeter maximum width, roughly parallel pink purple contusions encircling the left wrist with areas of superimposed abrasions up to 1.3 centimeters maximum dimension on the anterolateral left wrist in a 3.5 centimeter long area. The injury transitions to a dried yellow-black abraded furrow before bleeding into the anterior wrist crease. 2.2 centimeter maximum dimensions, purple contusions, dorsum of left hand. Internal examination, okay? So this is once they cut him open, and this is the head. The soft tissues of the scalp are free of injury. Wow. The calvarium is intact, as is the dura mater beneath it, okay? So I do want to, because this is probably one of the most important things. So I do want to show you guys. Yeah, we'll leave that site. I do want to show you guys these body parts that they may be referring to, so that we can kind of get a an understanding of what they're talking about. So here we go. The calvarium equals the skull cap. So let's just hit here just to show you guys a diagram of what this looks like. So obviously this is the frontal bone, which guards the frontal lobe. Calvarium equals the skull cap, okay? Consists of bones linked by sutures. All right, obviously the mandible, the manila. So you can see the makeup of the skull here, and they are pretty much saying that the calvarium, which is the skull, is intact, as in the dura mater beneath it. Clear cerebral spinal fluid surrounds the 1,380 gram brain. So essentially, let's see, essentially my man's brain is 3 pounds, which is unremarkable. Gyri and Solchi. Coronal sections demonstrate sharp demarcation between white and gray matter without hemorrhage of contusive injury. The ventricles are of normal size. The basal ganglia, brainstem, cerebellum, and arterial systems are free of injury or other abnormalities. There are no skull fractures. The atlanto-occipital joint is stable, okay? So you hear that? No skull fractures whatsoever. Let's get to the neck. And they went deep on this. Layer by layer dissection of the anterior strap muscles of the neck discloses no areas of contusions or hemorrhage within the musculature. The thyroid, cartilage, and hyoid bone are intact. The larynx is lined by intact mucosa. The thyroid is symmetric and red-brown, without cystic or nodular change. The tongue is free of bite marks, hemorrhage, or other injuries. The cervical spinal column is palpably stable and free of hemorrhage. Okay, so the idea is that the knee was on the neck and this caused asphyxiation, when we all know that he pretty much died from a heart attack. Okay. And let's get back. Let's read this again. This is the neck. So this pretty much vindicates Kanye for his comments. I think that this vindicates Kanye for his comments completely. What do you guys think? Let's look at the poll. 81% of you so far say, yes, George Floyd overdosed. Okay. So the neck, let's read it again. Layer by layer dissection of the anterior strap muscles of the neck discloses no areas of contusions or hemorrhage within the musculature. The thyroid, cartilage, and hyoid bone are intact. The larynx is lined by intact mucosa. The thyroid is symmetric and red-brown without cystic or nodular change. The tongue is free of bite marks, hemorrhage, or other injuries. The cervical spinal column is palpably stable and free of hemorrhage. No injuries to the neck. No injuries to the neck. You hear that, guys? So there were literally no injuries to the neck after a layer by layer dissection. A layer by layer dissection. So this moves me to my next point. Free my nigga Derek Chauvin. That's what it's sounding like, bruh. That is what it's sounding like. That's what it's sounding like. Layer by layer dissection of the neck. And we really don't even have to read the rest, but we will. Just to be fair. Body cavities. Except as previously noted, the ribs, sternum, and vertebral bodies are visibly and palpably intact. Stripping of the parietal pleura reveals no occult rib fractures. No excess fluid is in the pleural, the pericardial or peritoneal cavities. The organs occupy their usual anatomic positions. Adjacent to the left external iliac vessels and left psoas muscle, but not apparently arising from them or attracted to them, is a firm 4 centimeter maximum dimension, thinly encapsulated mass consisting of red, brown, and fleshy white gray areas, admixed with centrally scarred and calcified areas. All right. Respiratory system. The right and left lungs weighed 1,085 and 1,015 grams, respectively. The external surfaces are pink only on the most anterior aspects and deep red purple in all other areas. The pulmonary parenchyma is diffusely congested and edematous. No mass lesions or areas of consolidation are present. The pulmonary vascular tree is free of thromboemboli. The tracheobronchial or tracheobronchial tree is free of blood, edema, fluid, or foreign material. So I do want to highlight this about his respiratory system. The external surfaces are pink only on the most anterior aspects and deep red purple in all other areas. The pulmonary parenchyma is diffusely congested and edematous. So let's see. See. Okay. Wow. That's fucking crazy. So the edematous basically means swollen. So as you can see, the pulmonary parenchyma is diffusely congested and swollen. So let's see what this parenchyma looks like. All right. The pulmonary parenchyma. Let's see. The pulmonary parenchyma diagram. All right, so let's take a step into anatomy class. And this actually is coming from Quizlet. If I can just zoom in, I guess I'm looking at somebody's study notes. But I think this is a good representation. So we'll go ahead and show it. So here you guys see the larynx, right here. And what they were referring to was, oh shit, this ad just came up. The pulmonary arteries, as you can see. And these are the blood vessels that are pumping blood throughout the lungs. And they were noted to be swollen and congested. So what could have caused this? Obviously, the heart disease, obviously, the drug use. So it's not looking good for those who are filing lawsuits against Kanye. Cardiovascular system. The 540-gram heart upper limit of normal for body length is 510 or 510 grams. So they're saying that his heart was abnormally larger by at least, let's just do the quick math real quick. So they're saying 510 is normal. Let's see. So they're saying 510 is normal. So we'll say it's probably about 6% larger than the normal heart. Upper limit of normal for body weight is 521. So that's the upper limit. So his heart was obviously larger. Is contained in an intact pericardial or cardiacal sac. The epicardiacal surface is smooth with modest fat investment. The coronary arteries are present in a normal distribution with a right dominant pattern. Cross sections of the vessels show multifocal atherosclerosis with 75% proximal and 75% mid narrowing of the left anterior descending coronary artery, 75% of proximal narrowing of the first diagonal branch of the left anterior descending coronary artery, 25% proximal narrowing of the circumflex coronary artery, and 90% proximal narrowing of the right coronary artery. The myocardium is homogeneous, red, brown, and firm. The valve left leaflets are thin and mobile. The walls of the left are right ventricles and right ventricles, excuse me, are 1.2 and 0.4 centimeters thick, respectively. The endocardium is smooth and glistening. Both ventricular cavities are mildly dilated. The minimally atherosclerotic aorta gives rise to 3 intact and patent arc vessels. The renal and mesenteric vessels are unremarkable. Liver and biliary system, however you pronounce it. The 2,565-gram liver has an intact, smooth capsule and a sharp anterior border. The parenchyma is tan, brown, and congested with the usual lobular architecture. No mass lesions or other abnormalities are seen. The gallbladder contains a moderate amount of green-black bile and no stones. The mucosal surface is green and velvety. The extrahepatic biliary tree is patent. Spleen. The 140-gram spleen has a smooth, intact red-purple capsule. The parenchyma is maroon and congested. Pancreas. The pancreas is firm and yellow tan with no unusual lobular architecture. No mass lesions or other abnormalities are seen. Adrenals. The right and left adrenal gland are symmetric with bright yellow cortices and gray medullae. No masses or areas of hemorrhage are identified. Okay. And I guess there's a doctor's note. Kitzman WD shows WG or DG DW, I'm sorry. Kitzman, DW, Scholes, DG, Hagen, PT, ETL, age-related changes in normal human hearts during the first 10 decades of life, part 2, maturity, a quantitative and atomic study of 765 species from subjects 20 to 99 years old. And this came from a Mayo Clinic study in 1988. All right, let's keep going. Genitourinary system. All right, the right and left kidneys weigh 205 and 225 grams respectively. The internal surfaces are intact and smooth. The cut surfaces are red, tan, and congested with uniformly thick cortices and sharp corticomedullary junctions. The pelvis are remarkable, and the ureters are normal in course and caliber. White bladder mucosa overlies an intact bladder wall. The bladder contains approximately 80 milliliters of yellow urine. The prostate is normal in size with lobular yellow tan parenchyma. The seminal vessels are unremarkable. The testes are free of mass lesions, contusions, or other abnormalities. Gastrointestinal tract. The esophagus is intact and lined by smooth gray mucosa. The stomach contains approximately 450 milliliters of dark brown fluid with innumerable soft fragments of gray-white food particulate matter resembling bread. The gastric wall is intact. The duodenum loops of small bowel and colon are unremarkable. The appendix is present. Special procedures. Incisions and subcutaneous dissection of the anterior and lateral aspects of the wrist demonstrate no foci of contusions or hemorrhage deep to the skin on the right. In the left wrist, there is multifocal facial hemorrhage with approximately 3 milliliter liquid blood accumulation in the tissue surrounding the flexor tendons. The exposed wrist musculature itself appears free of injury. An incision from the back of the head to the lower back extending onto both buttocks is dissected subcutaneously to the lateral aspects of the neck, the shoulders, and flanks. No areas of subcutaneous hemorrhage, soft tissue contusions, or other occult injury are found in the posterior neck. Wow, so they keep talking about no injuries to the neck. Let's read that again. No areas of subcutaneous hemorrhage, soft tissue contusions, or other occult injury are found in the posterior neck. Right and left lateral neck, shoulders, back flanks, or buttocks. Additional procedures. Documentary photographs are taken. Post-mortem specimens collected and retained. Vitreous fluid, femoral blood, urine, liver, and gastric contents. Representative tissue biopsies are retained in formalin for microscopic examination. The dissected organs are returned to the body. Pulled head hairs are placed in a labeled sealed envelope. Microscopic examination. Cross sections of left ventricular, right ventricular, and interventricular septal myocardium are examined and show the expected microscopic architecture with readily visible boxcar nuclear changes in the septal and left ventricular sections. Cross sections of coronary arteries, though not all ideally oriented, confirm the gross impression of atherosclerotic. We keep atherosclerotic narrowing. Sorry. Sections of right and left lungs show generally normal overall architecture without malignancy. Pneumonia granulomatous inflammation or polarizable intravascular foreign material. Many small vessels contain rounded, clear vacuoles consistent with bone marrow embolism from cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Jesus, this is a mouthful. Pause. Liver, no significant pathological abnormality. It was marked congested, though. His liver was congested. Spleen, no significant pathological abnormality. Kidney, no significant pathological abnormality. It was marked congested as well. Pancreas, no significant pathological abnormality. Adrenal, no significant pathologic abnormality, but it was marked congested. Spleen, no significant pathological abnormality, but the spleen was also marked congested. Okay. Sections of hippocampus, cerebellum, cerebral cortex, and midbrain show the expected microscopic architecture without hypozygemic reactive neoplastic or inflammatory changes. Decalcified and routinely fixed. We're talking about the pelvis now. Sections show a proliferation of generally bland appearing cells with small to moderate amounts of eosinophilic cytoplasm and generally uniform nuclei with neuroendocrine features. Occasional nuclei show mild pleomorphism, but mitotic activity is not seen. Such of the tumor is composed of cells in sheets, cords, and nests in carcinoid-like pattern. Other areas vary from vascular to sclerosed and fibrotic. Taken together, the gross and microscopic H&E stains features of the lesions are most suggestive of an extra-adrenal paraganglioma, AFB, and GMS stains are non-contributory. Many of the above tissue sections, particularly those noted to have congestion, contain sickled appearing red blood cells. So those are those sickle cell crescent-shaped blood cells that can cause blood clots in your arteries. So here we are. We have the NMS lab coming from Pennsylvania. NMS labs. So let's see. So he was positive for caffeine, positive for cotinine, 0.6 milliliters of 4-ANPP. I mean, we read these already. He had 11 milliliters of fentanyl in his system. Let's see what that'll do. To kill you. So let's see, 11 ng of fentanyl. So they're saying 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal on a person's body. And he had 11 milliliters of fentanyl. Okay, so it's not good. It's not good. So yeah, these are just the blood tests that we have already read out. Okay, and they're just describing what these drugs are. And just another reference to how strong and lethal fentanyl is. It is reported to be 80 to 200 times as potent as morphine and has a rapid onset of action as well as addictive properties. Okay. So obviously this is a whole bunch of scientific data from the blood work. Let's see which part I should start at. Okay. All right, reference comments. Okay, so we really want to look at when they're talking about the fentanyl. Okay, so we got that. We got that. All right. Following removal of the patch, serum fentanyl concentrations are reported to decrease with a mean elimination half-life of 17 hours. The mean peak plasma serum fentanyl concentration in adults given an 800 mcg oral transmucosal fentanyl preparation over 15 minutes is reported at 2.1 milliliters at approximately 0.4 hours. Signs associated with fentanyl toxicity include severe respiratory depression, seizures, hypotension, coma, and death. In fatalities from fentanyl, blood concentrations are variable and have been reported as low as 3 milliliters. So you can die from 3 milliliters or 2 milliliters of fentanyl, and he had 11 in his system. And then obviously they're saying that these levels of toxicity when it comes to fentanyl can cause respiratory depression, seizures, and hypotension. Substances known to interfere with the identity and or quantity of the reported assault. 4-methylphenethyl acetyl fentanyl. Okay, fentanyl metabolite urine. Fentanyl is a DEA Schedule 2 synthetic morphine substitute. Okay, so we understand that. He had the methamphetamine as well. Let's see. So, okay. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, unless y'all want to get deep into the blood work, which you can do and come to your own conclusion. But, I mean, there were no physical injuries on the neck, no physical injuries on the brain. There were some abrasions around the wrist, maybe the chest area, forearm area, but no neck injury. No neck injury, man. So Kanye was right. Kanye was absolutely right. George Floyd did not die from the knee on the neck. As a matter of fact, Kanye said his knee wasn't even on his neck like that. That's what Kanye said, and he's right. He's absolutely right. And what he means by his knee wasn't on his neck like that, it doesn't mean that his knee was not on the neck at all. It means that his knee was not on his neck enough to cause substantial injury or harm. So Kanye is absolutely right. Kanye is absolutely right, and I think this lawsuit should absolutely be thrown out. I think Derek Chauvin deserves a retrial, okay, an attempt at appeal. Especially after reading this autopsy. I mean, I don't see how they even came to the conclusion that, besides the video footage, that that's really what killed him. So let's see. We have a few things that we want to get into. All right. We got Steven Jackson responding to Kanye. We also have Nori talking to Kanye. And I got some smoke for Nori too. Tony, invade NY, multiply, kill a cop. Me and you, we got beef. I got beef. Who said that? Who said that? All my hip hop lovers out here. Tony, invade NY, multiply, kill a cop. Me and you, we got beef. I got beef. Okay? Just look the song up. Look the song up. And I'm not a fan of anybody, but I enjoy Capone and Noriega's music. I enjoy it. I enjoyed the War Report 1. I enjoyed the War Report 2. But he said TONY, invade NY, multiply, kill a cop. Me and you, we got beef. I got beef. Okay, so now he's basically kind of going back on that and say, oh, we're really getting killed out here by these cops. Negative, my friend, negative. We've done plenty of stories where these super gremlins are in mass killing officers. And yes, our officers killing American citizens. Yeah, on some small occasions, but mostly they're killing criminals. So that's what's really going down. Let's watch.
Be honest. I gotta be honest. So, but when you wear the White Lives Matter shirt.
See, when you wear the White Lives Matter shirt, this is, what do you think white people feel? What do you think white people feel when they see people wearing the Black Lives Matter shirt? I mean, it's the same thing. You can't act like it's not, okay? Like I said, I was fucking with All Lives Matter. I really was. Even though they were saying all lives, White Lives Matter is the new All Lives Matter, basically. But I was fucking with the All Lives Matter. But, you know, we all know that Black Lives Matter is a fucking scam. So how are they still defending Black Lives Matter, even though we all have evidence that it's a scam? As a matter of fact, Patrice Cullors is actually renovating her $6 million home and adding a $1.4 million expansion and upgrade to her home. It's safe to say that she is adding value to the property.
Sure. It kind of takes away from everything from Black people. Because what it is like the same way you wore the Confederate flag. And we're like, damn. And I know you. I love you. I fuck with you. You my brother. So I take this. And I'm a real nigga. And I'm a real nigga in the streets every day.
Okay. Let's stop him here. You're a real nigga, and you're a real nigga in the streets every day. So how about you tell these other real niggas to stop killing each other? If you want Black lives to matter, hold these real niggas accountable. Hold them accountable. You said yourself, you're a real nigga in the streets every day. So hold the Black people, the Puerto Rican people, the Cuban people in the community, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Yonkers, accountable. You're a real nigga in the streets every day. Why don't Black lives matter to those niggas? Because, I mean, we've been covering New York. It's apparent Black lives don't matter up there. It's apparent.
But even me, I question, like, why would you try to, like, even when you said, you know, George Floyd, and you said George Floyd, like, and you said, I could prove that somebody wasn't on his neck. We don't even care about that yet.
You heard it. They don't even care about that. They don't care about the facts. I don't know if Kanye directly read the autopsy like we just did and looked at the blood work, or he had somebody read it for him, but he's not wrong. He's absolutely 100% correct. He's absolutely 100% correct. No injuries to the neck. No injuries to the brain. Case closed. Case closed.
Because we don't care. But let me finish. We Black people, we Black Panthers, we fucking the people that you gotta fuck with. We fucked with you.
What the fuck is he even saying right now? This nigga is belligerently incoherent. What the fuck is he even saying?
When it was time for you to say that it's the fuck with you, we want to continue to follow you. We do. You are yay. But when the White Lives Matter, we know White Lives Matter.
You heard what he said. We know white lives matter. Tell that to Elijah Dewitt. Okay, tell that to Thomas Arnold, who was killed on the Beltline in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, tell that to, I just did a story just now. Hold on. Let me find his name real quick because I want to put some respect on the man's name. I want to put respect on the man's name. The carjacking that we covered in Buckhead. Christopher Eberhardt. Okay, the white man who was in Buckhead, who was killed in the driveway of a property that he was the residing general contractor over. Shout out to Truth Matters with the $5 super sticker.
Oh, shit like
So understand that I don't think the community knows that white lives matter. I really don't. Otherwise, we wouldn't have these cases like Thomas Arnold, Christopher Eberhardt, Elijah Dewitt, Linda Fricky, and I could go on and on.
We know that. But Black Lives Matter when we are getting killed every fucking single day.
Oh my God. Who's killing black people every single day? TONY, invade NY, multiply, kill a cop. Who's killing black people every single day? Please, Nori, one of y'all niggas, answer me. Who's killing black people every day? Because I can just name some people that you know, Jada Youngin. I can name some people that you know, Gunu. I can name some people that you know, PNB Rock, XXX Tentacion, Nipsey Hussle. Are you kidding me, bro? You gotta be kidding me, right? You gotta be kidding me.
We have to notice that.
But since that happened, we haven't got killed less. We got killed more. We broke more shit up. You gotta understand, it's like what I'm doing.
And we got killed more by each other. It wasn't by the police.
It's tight jeans. If you think about if you think about a Meek Mill's outfit and you picture him, you gotta picture him in some tight jeans. But the same mentality would have been Beanie telling me and Pharrell to come out the closet because we was wearing tight jeans back in the days.
Yeah.
And then I got on tape, I say, yo, don't try me like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Sephora shit, and now me and Beanie, we good. Like everybody know I'm Michael. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no one like no one. You know what I'm saying?
But
so
that's what I agree.
It's like
I agree.
Yeah,
but can you talk? Can you let me talk?
Yeah.
But I agree. I agree with everything you say. But we really getting killed out here, yeah? Yeah, listen. We're really getting killed.
Kanye, please let him know who's killing us. Please.
Our little brothers, God bless our children.
The t-shirt's not gonna change it.
You have children named Nori, Chicago. Imagine Nori in Chicago comes to you and says, yo, they call me a nigga. And then Nori says to you, well, why they call me a nigga? And they say, because they said black lives didn't matter.
What? Just because you got a White Lives Matter shirt doesn't mean that black lives don't matter. I mean, this shit is ridiculous. Bro. Like I said, if he's in the streets all day, why don't he tell them little niggas to get the fuck out of the streets?
No. White lives matter doesn't mean that black lives don't matter.
Right. Right, exactly. Just like they say, oh, black lives matter doesn't mean that white lives don't matter. But we all know that black lives matter, or BLM, means by large mansions.
That's what we need you to say.
That's the conversation.
That's what we need you to say, yeah?
That's the conversation.
All right. Now we're talking. That's what we need you to say. Because you know why? Let me tell you why. And I did see Candy always shit. And when she says Black Lives Matter organization,
There's two different Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter grassroots, which is supposed to be the authentic one. And then there's a Black Lives Matter foundation. Apparently, the foundation is the one who ran off with the bag. Global Network Foundation, rather. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. And we read the lawsuit. We don't have to go over that again, even though if you guys want to go back and check that out, you know, go look it up. We read the full lawsuit against Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, waged against them by Black Lives Matter grassroots. So Black Lives Matter, even within the Black Lives Matter organization or whatever, even within those, they're fighting amongst each other, suing each other for money that one ran off with. And like, from my perspective, Black Lives Matter grassroots is jealous that Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation ran off with the bag. And now they're mad because they didn't get none of the bag. Because I don't even think the grassroots initiative was even authentic in their pursuit to really make Black Lives Matter. Because if they were, then they would be calling out the multitude of Black people who kill each other in the streets every day. It's not police killing us every day. I mean, I could probably do a story on a unjustified police shooting, or, you know, arguably unjustified police shooting maybe once a month. But majority of the police shootings are absolutely justified. And the majority of Black people who kill other Black people are 100% unjustified.
Separated from the organization. But let's just be clear. That's like saying, you know,
the Catholic Church don't love Jesus. Something there. Catholic Church did shit bad. Yeah, like niggas did something bad.
Wu-Tang. But let me say something. Wu-Tang. It's for the children. It's for the children. It's forever.
Wu-Tang is for the children.
It's for the children. Come on, dude.
What the fuck are they even talking about at this point?
I don't give a fuck if Devon or...
I mean, I love Nori, but it's like you're being lectured by an alcoholic. Like, dude, I would eat these guys' lunch, but they would never have me on. I would eat their fucking lunch.
Or whatever is for anybody else. Guess what? Wu-Tang is still for the children. And that's what I want to... Fuck Black Lives Matter.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You can cancel. You can cancel by the Jewish media. You say fuck Black Lives Matter.
No, when I say what I mean is Black Lives Matter as an organization, but as a movement. As
the movement is bullshit too, guys. People got to stop saying that Black Lives Matter as an organization is corrupt, but the movement is still sound and it's going. No, they are one and the same. You can't separate the two. They are the same exact thing.
As a statement, it matters.
Jesus Christ, that was that was difficult to get through. So let's see the next step where Kanye West actually speaks facts on the George Floyd situation.
The George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes.
Guys, we got 66 people in the building. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Show some love up in this biatch, okay? We just read the medical examiner's autopsy account of the cause of death for George Floyd. No neck injuries present, external or internal, after going through layers and layers of neck tissue. There is no neck injury or, misfiguring of the larynx. So what does that tell you?
They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guys...
And I got to correct Ye right there. He said they hit him with the fentanyl. George Floyd hit himself with the fentanyl and the methamphetamines and the marijuana and the heart disease because of his lifestyle choices. It wasn't they who hit him with the fentanyl. He hit his damn self with the fentanyl.
They hit him with the fentanyl.
But go off.
If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that.
His knee was not on his neck like that. And what Ye means by that, of course, the knee made contact with the upper shoulder neck area. But he's right. The knee was not on his neck like that. The knee was not on his neck enough to cause significant bodily harm. So he's absolutely right about that.
When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who do you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil.
Now, I don't know where he made the connection to George Floyd and Virgil. From my understanding, Virgil died of cancer, terminal cancer, and George Floyd died of an overdose or hypertension caused by his, use of illicit drugs.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right?
Right.
And if you guys don't know who Virgil is, Virgil Abloh is a designer. He was a clothing designer for Louis Vuitton. He made the brand Off-White. So if you guys see people wearing Off-White shirts or whatnot, that is from Virgil Abloh's brand. He passed away, I believe, if not this year, late last year. So RIP Virgil for sure.
But I know that we lost him. And I know that this white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him, like as a martyr. And we don't know why exactly. We say it's cancer.
But I mean, all right. I want to be careful with this subject because.
Wait a second, but tell me, could you even really run this interview? Because Mav didn't run my interview.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They blocked me out.
You heard him, Math Hoffa, a guy who's supposed to be real street nigga, whatever, not scared of nothing, didn't run the interview. And guess what Nori did? He took the interview down as well. They are conforming. They are conforming. Shout out to Cyrus Cherry with the $10 super trap. He said, earlier I was commenting on Reclaim Your Throne. Got pulled over by white cop, phone use. He could have suspended my license and charged me $1,000 or $198 ticket and no points off my license. Stop white hate, SMH.
Hold on. Hello? Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
Big facts. My man Cyrus Cherry was definitely outside for my earlier live stream on Reclaim Your Throne, and he's outside for my live stream on Black Gen Z Mindset. Shout out to Cyrus Cherry, an avid supporter of the movement.
The Jewish media blocked me out. This shit lit, right? I'm lit, right? I'm lit. I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? JP Morgan, I put $140 million into JP Morgan and they treated me like shit. So if JP Morgan Chase is treating me like that, how they treating the rest of y'all?
That's outrageous, yeah. And this murderers with Chase accounts. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I am outraged. By the time people always, they want to calm it down.
Because no matter what, you didn't break no law.
I didn't break a law.
No matter
I didn't
what,
break a law.
The bank shouldn't be a judge or jury on anything that's
but
going
this
on.
is it's like a social contract. Candace Owens has.
Yep, he's absolutely right. And that's what they're trying to lead us into, social contracts. And we're going to all have social scores. It's very much like what they're doing in China, where people have social scores and, you know, your access to certain institutions can be nullified if you don't align or have a minimum social score within that certain society.
There's a word for it, I'm forgetting, but it's basically like they told Candace Owens she couldn't hang out with me. You know, I'm here.
So you heard what he said. Now we're going to get into George Floyd's Pookie basketball playing cousin, Steven Jackson, who said that he's a Muslim man, saying that he's going to check in with some hood niggas in every city that he goes so he feels safe. Why don't you check in with Allah? Okay. Why don't you check in with Allah? Inshallah, right? It's crazy. You're talking about checking in with hood niggas who have nothing to their name, credit scores below 500, no property, and you're checking in with these niggas. You're being extorted by these niggas. It's crazy. Let's get it.
Good morning, world. Hey, man. Enough of my beautiful rest to get ready to go to NASCAR. You know, everybody sent me this video. Say, man, listen. The better thing to do is call his daughter, mother, or call his daughter. Call his cousin Wu. Talk to people who knew him his whole life.
No. Talk to the medical examiner. Talk to the ME. Talk to the doctor who did the autopsy. Andrew Baker. Talk to him. Tenured doctor, 20 years with his own practice. I don't give a fuck what his family says. Obviously, yeah, sorry for their loss. Like, sending condolences for their loss, for sure. We don't want somebody to, you know, just fuck around and die, of course. But no, talking to the family and da-da-da-da, make you feel this type of way. Dude, fuck that. Talk to the medical. I want to hear the facts. Talk to the ME. Talk to the people who did the blood work. Talk to the doctor who said that there were no signs of damage to his spinal cord, his neck, nor his head. Let's lean on science this time, buddy. Let's lean on science this time, because I'm done with the emotions. I'm done with the crocodile tears. I'm done with it. And let's keep it a buck. George Floyd was a junkie. And were y'all nigga, let's keep it a buck. Was the family really paying attention to that nigga before all this? Let's keep it a buck, because when I saw the interview with George Floyd's brother on Vlad TV, the nigga didn't even damn near know George Floyd. He met him a couple times. So it's safe to say that the family was very much estranged from George Floyd. Then the bag presented itself. Let me repeat. Then the bag presented itself. And now everybody, oh, we love him. That's my baby. I spent my last hours with him. Oh, Lord. Like all this shit. Were y'all really fucking with this nigga when he was, you know, doing methamphetamine, shooting up and you know, taking fentanyl pills, injecting fentanyl into his veins? Right? And I get it. If you got a drug addict family member, sometimes you got to wash your hands with that nigga. I 100% get it. But on the back end, don't act like we were all just close. Keep it a buck. Yo, man, he has some issues, man. Yeah, man, he had some problems. He was sticking up pregnant women, putting guns to their stomach. Yeah. He had a whole bunch of problems, man. That nigga was wilding, man. He was in the streets, you know, shooting needles up his dick, all this type of shit. Yeah, man, he was doing a lot of questionable things, but you know, that's family. We love him. Now let's go get this bag. I could appreciate that more. I could respect that more than everybody acting like they was just like the nigga's best friend before he died. Because like I said on the Vlad TV interview, the Vlad TV interview of George Floyd's brother, that nigga act like he ain't never knew who the fuck he was. He act like George Floyd's brother, I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. I don't know if that nigga shed a tear over him, because how can you shed a tear for a nigga you met 3 times in your life? Max. Same with Steven Jackson. How many times were you kicking it with George Floyd? How much time did you really spend with George Floyd? Let's keep it a buck. Like, stop with the bullshit. It's crazy, dog. It's crazy.
When he went on hard times, talk to the people who picked him up. When he needed clothes for a job, or his mama needed rent, call to the people that helped him out. Listen to the people that helped him out. That's people you need to talk to. Don't talk to opportunists, because that's what you're doing.
How about we talk to the doctors who did the autopsy? That's literally all we need to know. That's the only person that we need to talk to. Whoever did the autopsy and whoever did the blood work, that's all I'm concerned about. I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas say. I will have any of y'all on this channel and debate me on it. That's all that matters. We just read the autopsy. Who wants to go line for line with me with this autopsy? Who wants to go line for line? I know I couldn't pronounce every goddamn word and hear every medical term. I couldn't pronounce all of them, but I tried my damn best. But I was able to come to the conclusion that yes, my man overdosed. He was taking too many drugs. He had heart problems. He had heart disease. Okay? So understand that before you talking all this bullshit like, oh, you talking to opportunists. No, we're talking to people who care about the facts. Whatever you want to say, your cousin, whoever the fuck, George Floyd, your cousin, bruh, he was wreaking havoc. He was wreaking havoc. He did his time for sure. He did his time, but he didn't learn his lesson. What's the point of doing your time if you don't learn your lesson? He didn't learn his lesson. He was not about to get his life on the right track. Let's keep it a buck. If he was still alive today, he'd probably be shooting up today. And none of y'all niggas would know where the fuck he was at. That's how it works when you have a drug addict family member. I can empathize with the drug addict family member for sure. But let's not act like, look, once niggas realize, oh, that nigga gone. We wash our hands with him a long time ago. We wash our hands with the drug addict family member. We wash our hands with the alcoholic family member. We wash our hands with the thieving ass family member. We wash our hands with the pedophile family member. We wash our hands with the stealing family member. We know the black community don't wash our hands with the killing. We don't wash our hands with the family members who doing the killing out here. That's not what the community does. But in me and my house, we wash our hands with them niggas too. You can get the fuck on. You can get the fuck on. Okay, I can't stand behind no nigga who put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. Can't do it. Can't do it. That nigga was pro-choice, pro his choice. So let's not act like he was a motherfucking saint. Let's not act like he was getting his life on track. Let's not act like you guys knew where the fuck he was at before he got that knee slightly grazed and hovered over his neck. Let's not act like that. Okay? Let's not do that.
At the same time when all this George Floyd shit was going on, everybody was screaming George Floyd this, George Floyd that. Because everybody was trying to make money off somebody else.
Who's trying to make the most money off of George Floyd? Oh my God. Who's trying to make the most money off of George? You got the family suing Kanye for $250 million. You got the family suing Kanye West for $250 million. What the hell are you talking about?
Else pain. But that ain't the hustle no more. The new hustle is talking about him and dissing him. All that shit is weak. All y'all clout chasing. All y'all look sad.
Nobody's dissing him. We're damn sure talking about him because this discussion needs to be had. The black community needs to understand the facts, and they're not getting them from you. They're not getting them from the family. What we need to do is get the facts from the medical examiner, get the facts from esteemed Dr. Andrew Baker. That's all that matters in this situation. So anyways, guys. I appreciate everybody for joining the stream. It was a wonderful stream. We learned a lot. I don't know anybody who actually read through the autopsy, but we did. And if you want to send people this video, reference this video so that they understand how George Floyd passed away, then please, by all means, share this video. Tell them about your boy Jen Quavius. Tell them about BGZM News 17. Tell them about the Black Gen Z mindset, because we are out here speaking truth to power and putting the facts out there. We're putting the facts out there. So with that being said, guys, make sure you check out BGZM News 17. Make sure you check out Black Gen Z Mindset. And make sure you hit that link to purchase the merch. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I know everybody is patiently awaiting Axe stream, so I'm not going to, you know, take up that time space that he has scheduled for his live stream. But I did want to come on here and clear the air before we got up out of here. But y'all already know what it is, man. It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And I hope you all enjoy your evening. Peace.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/BlackGenZMindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo.
Whoa.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit on.
That's that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Aw, look at Daddy.
He's not my dad, Mom.
Really, Ava?
He's not. My dad's in jail and I miss him.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.